How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So, as you already know, as we've already discussed, I'm recording this video for the purpose of meeting the practical requirement of my course that I'm undertaking right now, which is Level 4 Award in the Internal Quality Assurance of Assessment Processes and Practices. So, first of all, what I'd like to get out of the way is, are you comfortable with me recording the video because I'll be recording this video?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you, thank you. So, what I also like is that you also give me a brief introduction about yourself. I know that you're working as a assessor here, but just for the sake of the video, if you could please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Saman, and I'm assessor for level 3 course in the English literacy, and I'm
Okay, that's fine. Okay. So, what I've done is I've done the sampling of the learner's course, that is the level 3 board in English literacy and language teaching. So, I've completed sampling of 2 units, unit 1 and unit 2. For unit 1, I've completed summative sampling of the assessment decisions that we provided, and for unit 2, I've done indirect sampling. Okay. So, what I'd like to ask you is that what is the learner progress right now? How is learner A progressing right at the moment?
okay. So overall, the performance of learner A is quite good. He has already completed unit 1 and unit 2, and he's working on unit 3. So in the initial drafts which he submitted, there were some issues, but after second and third review of the feedbacks, he was able to overcome those issues very well.
Okay. So, for unit-wise progress, if I ask you, say that learner is on unit 3 right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, just as you mentioned that you did face issues and hurdles during the formative assessment, could you please highlight any of those?
Yeah, sure. In the task 2 of unit 1, that's a phonetic transcription, he was facing some issues regarding the spoken test analysis. So for those issues to overcome, I recommended him some material, like I sent him some video tutorials and some guides, and I also recommended him a dictionary. So after all of these things, he was able to overcome those issues. So yeah, he
Okay. Okay. So that's for clarity, the task 2 of unit 1, which is analyzing English language for analysis of figurative devices and linguistic analysis, that is actually quite difficult. And phonological analysis can actually be quite overwhelming sometimes for learners, that is understandable. And I think your choice to provide them with tutorials and guides and dictionary for IP transcription, that is actually ideal. Okay. So, according to the assessment plan that you agreed with this learner, do you think the learner will be able to complete the course in time?
Yeah, I think so, because he has already completed 2 units and he is on to unit 3.
Okay.
So I think he would be able to complete the course by the end of this October.
Okay, so end of October. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you'd say that the deadline for course completion is actually realistic?
Yes, it is very much realistic because he has left with only one course, only one unit of the course, which is quite simple and straightforward. So yeah, I think he would be able to do that.
Okay, okay, that's fine. So we've got the learner's information out of the way. Now I'll actually be discussing my feedback on your assessment that was done for unit 1 and for unit 2. So first of all, I'd like to give you feedback on the sampling I've done for the unit 1, which was summative sampling for your summative decisions. So I went to the assignment and I saw that your feedback was very, positive, and you actually commended the learner for their exceptional work in both the tasks, the task 1 and task 2. Task 1 basically on the reading text, and the task 2, sorry, for the spoken text. So for both the texts, you have quite useful feedback, and the way you recognized how they have incorporated linguistic features in their in-depth analysis, that was quite appreciable, since phonological analysis can sometimes be very overwhelming for the learner, but he did actually do a great job, because the summative sample that I've seen, that's actually quite great. And your feedback did actually encourage the learner and actually highlighted their performance. So, and lastly, the feedback itself actually quite was aligned with the awarding body criteria and the awarding body guidelines that we receive for how to give feedback and what benchmarks to follow when providing feedback. However, there were some, little minor points for improvement, which I thought could be incorporated for next time when you're, assessing this unit. So, however, your feedback was quite nice, and the quality of the feedback was actually quite great. But you might consider including, specific examples or areas where the learner excelled in their analysis, because these assignments, this whole course actually is quite creative. We give learners the choice to select their own reading text, their own spoken text of their own choice that they can analyze. So it's all very creative. So what I thought you could do was that you could provide examples, specific examples from the text that you liked in their response. So for example, for Unit 1, the learner chose a text that was around the UK education system. And when I went over the text, I saw that there were quite a lot of headings on primary education, secondary education, the GCSEs, and the university preparation route in the UK. And although the text was quite in-depth analyzed, what I thought you could do was you could provide examples from the text on what you liked in their response. So what this basically does is this basically pinpoints to the learner their strengths and what aspect of their work were actually, particularly praiseworthy. So this is what that actually does. So, and then another point that I could highlight from your feedback was that you could also provide learners with the opportunity to, discuss with their acquaintances or colleagues or anybody they can, relate to, basically in their work setting, where they can, gain perspectives on their work, and that can actually, foster professional growth. So, for instance, I've chosen this particular text, I've analyzed it, I've written my analysis on the linguistic features used in the text, and then I can gain, second perspective on it from another, context. So that is what you could, encourage him or suggest him to do. So that was it for Unit 1. Is there anything you'd like to discuss or any questions you have regarding my sampling for Unit 1?
No, that's fine. We can proceed further.
Okay. Yeah. So for the Unit 2, which was basically on reading skills, I did an interim sampling of the unit, and I can provide you with my feedback. Again, the feedback was very, positive. He commended the learner for their splendid job in evaluating both the reading text, and you actually did recognize that the learner has quite a strong grip, quite a strong grasp over reading skills, because they did, quite an excellent job with the analysis. And the way, you actually asked the learner or recommended them to, advance their literary skills by, propagating their analytical skills by exploring more advanced literary texts. That was, I think, a very good point from your feedback. That because the learner was quite, equipped with the literary devices, so it was best to, suggest them to advance that knowledge further. And then the way you, suggested the learner to delve deeper into the text and the intricacies of the text, that was also commendable. And it was also, since this was an interim feedback and the sampling I did was also interim, you actually recommended the learner to refer to guide for the assessment guide that we provide for the, improvements that were required in the assignments. That was also a good point. However, there were some little minor points again to further enhance your feedback. And again, the quality of feedback was commendable. It was actually very nice. But what you could have done was that I saw you were all praised regarding the analysis for text too. So what you could do was you could highlight particular points from the understanding of connotative meaning and figures of speech that you highlighted. You could put specific examples of that from the text that, okay, this was the point that I liked from your response, or this was the aspect that was praiseworthy. This was basically telling them what made their AC a pass, what made their assessment criteria a pass. So providing specific examples of specific instances could have improved the response. For example, they used that text to kill a mockingbird. So you could have, it's a quite a literary text, it's a book. So you could have picked up examples from the book and then you could, provide them with specific feedback. And for the next time, you can also, ask the learner to provide reference from the sources from where they have, procured the reading text. Since Unit 2 is all about, selecting two reading texts and then giving an in-depth analysis in both the texts, what you could do was you could ask them to, reference the source from where have procured those texts. This basically just legitimizes the whole process and makes the credibility of their work enhances, right? Okay. So this was it from my side. Do you have any questions regarding the feedback that I've just given you? Any reservations regarding the IQ decisions or anything that you'd like to discuss?
No, I don't have any questions or reservations, but thank you so much for such an elaborative feedback, and I'll definitely take them account into my next feedback cycles in the future. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Saman. Thank you for being with you.